Welcome everyone on today's Metal3 Community meeting. My name is Adam Rosman. I will be your host. Today is the 13th of April 2022. Please don't forget that the meeting is being recorded. And as usual, we would start with the introductions. If you are new, you can introduce yourself, but I think everybody is already like a experienced member of this meeting, so we can continue with the agenda points. There are only one, and it's from me at the moment. If you remember, back in, I think it was either earlier this year or end of last year, I think, Ricardo, you had this request for testing, like providing better testing for the ironic image. And a first step of this, as a first step of this, I have implemented this ironic image testing pipeline that can be called with this trigger phrase, and it would test the buildability of the ironic image, and that means that it tests installing ironic from RPM, from source, and patching the image. And that's not all. There is one other addition in the works which would enable a additional trigger phrase for the integration tests, where you can run the integration tests while enabling the ironic installation from source. So that will be soon also, I think, merged. Yeah, so
that's great. Thanks, Adam. This is like really nice to have. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm happy that it is helpful. Sorry, it took some time.
That's fine. No worries. It's okay. I kept testing it locally from time to time, so it's okay. But having that directly in the CI and being able to trigger it, even if it's optional, of course, that's great. Thanks again.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, so that's this agenda point, and the next one is from Feruz, related to the hardware data PR.
Hello. Just wanted to ask if people could review and then give approve. It has gone through a couple of rounds of reviews from some people. Well, actually, I think not many on this at least. There is already LGTM because it was from Kashif, and it would be nice if folks could review and then give the approval as well. It has other dependency on CapM3 repo, but as soon as this gets merged, we will merge the other one, and then the fix for the CI, and then that should be good. Yep. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Feruz. Yeah, I think everybody remembers, but just for the record, this is about this custom research definition for the hardware data that Feruz have built. Yeah, and the other one is also from you.
Yeah, I was expecting Zane to be on the call, but I don't see him. But well, fine. This was a topic that I brought last week as well. That sometimes, in some circumstances, we want to block the provisioning of the BMH. For example, right now, when you are again using like CapM3, CapE, and then the BMO, user can delete the BMH without actually deleting the machine. Usually that shouldn't be the case. We shouldn't allow the user to delete it, but that's possible, and I think that that's not a good thing, and we wanted to block that. There were a couple of discussions with Zane, between me and Zane and Kashif, Zain was suggesting to use the machine health check. And if user deleted the BMH, we would move the parent object machine into the failed state, and then machine health check would take care of remediating and bringing that machine into the healthy state. But that will not work, unfortunately, because as I wrote here, BMH does not exist. Well, not exactly, but BMH is deprovisioned. So when BMH is deprovisioned, you cannot even delete the machine. So for example, if the machine is in failed state and machine health check controller tries to remediate it, and after it fails, after maximum number of retries, it will fall back to the deletion, but it cannot even delete because under like the host which is attached to it is already deprovisioned. So it will just hang forever there, and that it's users manual intervention that needs to be included to delete and then bring the cluster or that node into the healthy state. So Zain had a point that it would break some deployments. I think it was in the OpenShift, which is using CapVM, the old version of the provider. But I've suggested that we could actually do the implementation in a way that it wouldn't break any existing users. Like we could introduce an annotation or the finalizer, which would be set only by the CapM3 on the BMH. And if BMO notices that that finalizer or annotation exists on the BMH, it would block the deprovisioning. In the case of the CapVM, in the OpenShift, I think it won't set that annotation because we will introduce new annotation for the finalizer, and BMO would continue working as it is working right now. So if you folks have any questions or comments, please let me know either now or on the discussion. But I think we should really tackle this case. Yep. Thank you.
Is there any question right now related to this? Or any remark? Okay. In this case, that was all on the agenda. And today we have triaging. So I already went a bit forward and checked. We won't check the stale and the frozen. There is no change with those. Let's see what needs triaging. So the first one is one of the stales. We don't need to check that. We checked it many times. No progress with that. And there is this new one. The ironic health is not checked properly after pivot from Leonard. And I think there is already actually progress on this, right? Is Mohammed, maybe you can give some information about this.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, we have opened a PR related to this issue. We are planning to check the ironic pods readiness of the deployment. So it's in progress there. I think the PR is ready for review.
And is this PR that you created enough to handle this this issue, this ironic health check problem for pivoting?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, is it okay? I think we can accept this as you are already working on this, and it's actually a legitimate thing. But is it okay if I assign you for this issue also? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. And I think it's a bug. And I think that's okay. And you will work on this, no help needed. And then the next one would be like a request for a diagram for the inspection and the provisioning for the book, as I understood. And the example for this is something like this, like a sequence diagram. What do you think about this? Should we have a diagram of this sort in the book related to inspection / provisioning workflow? And if yes, what would be the idea? I'm not sure how many of us actually put like any sort of diagrams into the book. Yes, Feroz?
I think it makes sense to add it, and we previously had it in under docs. I don't recall exactly. Was it in BMO or CAPM3, or even somewhere else? But I remember when we were presenting it in one of the Kubernetes conferences, like we had this sort of diagram, and I can actually help to draw that. So we were using Plant.uml for drawing the diagrams. Like there are a couple of PRs right now for the user guide, which are drawing some images with Plant.uml, and we are using that because it's kind of programmatic. You can write the script, and then it's easy to modify in the future if something changes. So we could do the same with, we could draw similar stuff like state diagram with Plant.uml, and I think it's helpful actually to have it.
Yeah, I also agree, fully agree. As per my experience, sequence diagrams are very useful, especially for complicated situations where we typically handle. In our context, I would say that state diagrams are fundamental for having an initial overview of what are the typical states of the operators, but sequence diagram would greatly help. There are a lot of different tools that could be used for drawing the diagram. My suggestion would be eventually to adopt a common tool like YAD Online or similar stuff, so that the look and feel could be eventually also the same across the guide.
Yeah, Feroz?
Yeah, I actually, that's a good point that Andre brought, like with regard to the common tool across the whole user guide. We haven't decided on the community level which tool we should use, but we were using this Plant.uml because I'm actually not aware of other tools which might be maybe a bit simpler or might introduce more features. So can we maybe agree on one tool, like, and then just apply, because I think PRs are now going already with some images, and it might be extra work in the future to redraw some of the diagrams, or maybe the language of drawing diagrams is the same, so it could be easy. But I think if we decide with one of the tool as soon as possible, that would simplify a lot. So, for example, I am aware with Plant.uml and no more, but Andrea mentioned a couple of other options. We could just see which one suits our needs best.
So just for an example, that's the Plant.uml example. That's the one that I've known about also. I haven't used another one. So first of all, we are fine with having this diagram. And then we just have to decide that what sort of tool should we use. Let's say like we have to decide this, I think, until the next meeting. I wouldn't spend more time on this. Could you please write the possible options here if you have some alternative suggestions to plant UML, because I'm not sure that I hear the names of the tools correctly. And then I think I will try to make a poll in the bare metal Slack channel and post it there, some simple poll, and we will see the results that what the community would like to use. I also would support the tools that have this programmatic approach, because sure, we could use like draw.io and so on, but it's nice if we can version control the structure or the script that generates it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is a very good point, Adam. This should be a requirement that every asset generated must be versioned, must be in a form that could be versioned. So.
Okay, I think this description is enough, and you can list the tools here. I think I will wait until tomorrow, then I will collect these and I will just throw them into a poll, and you can write to me on Slack, and I will add those two. Yeah. And related to the triaging, so we say that we accept it. Yeah, Feroz?
And you can assign it to me if like I can help.
Sure, sure. Accepted, assign. Feroz. Kind feature, and I will just what's this? Inspection and provision workflow. Yes, that was all that needed triaging. So stay frozen doesn't matter. There are no new ones. What needs help? Yeah, this was our old stale bootloader issue. We won't check this now. Support for firmware update, that's still not stale because I think I removed it, but there is nobody on this. So if you are interested, please check this one. It's an old one, old feature request. We have been through this a few times. Okay, the docs are growing. Thank you for everybody who is writing docs. There are less and less of these. And please feel free to select any of these. Okay, then these ones are the ones that were multiple times checked and were made by Leonard. So if you are interested in this, please ping Leonard on Slack, on the mailing list, or on the issue if you want to start with any of these. And then there are two other, one from Anwar related to the provider ID. We checked it last time, and we discussed that he will probably do it, but we left this one as help wanted. So if somebody is interested, can get closer to this provider ID feature. And then there is one BMC address configured. Yeah, that we have also, I think, discussed in the past, that this is a legitimate, it looks like a legitimate bug, and it was accepted for during the triaging. This might be the most important of these that require help. I don't want to pressure anyone. Is there somebody here who would be interested in investigating this or already looked into this? Okay, if not, then just feel free. Oh, yeah.
I feel like this might be something that Jacob Anders has looked into. And it might be something to do with the BMC itself falling back to HTTP. We can, I'll take a look after this and maybe tag him.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so that was all of the issues. There are almost no new, I think, that would require help. And that was the end of the triaging. Is there anybody who have some problem suggestions, improvement requests, something like that, or something that wasn't on the agenda? Okay, if there's nothing, then thank you for your attention, and we will see each other next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye bye.